Hello Internet, it's Roshi, and I'm back with another reaction, this time reacting to something that I originally skipped, but because I completed Chapter 1, Act 4, I can finally go back and take a look at this. This is Genshin Impact Story teaser, We Will Be Reunited. Let's get into it. Whew. Oh!
Outlanders do not belong in this world. One day, this journey will reach its end.
Whoa.
But until the abyss has engulfed the thrones, my war with destiny will see no end.
Your Highness, our plan to weaponize the dragon has been impeded.
By the Animo Archon, he rises again for the dragon's sake.
No, not the Archon. We were well prepared for his interference. Regrettably, Your Highness, the issue is your brother.
Outlanders, your journey ends here. Lumine!
We will be reunited, dear brother. But not here. Not now. We will meet at this journey's end. Once the dust has settled. Then, you will understand.
Let's have a look at that, shall we? Oh, God. What I'm going to do, I'm going to play it again. And this time, I'm going to be pausing and talking about stuff as we go through it. Let's do it again. Oh, my God. This was so good. All right. First of all, already, we have ourselves a field tiller carrying Lumine. I remember playing the Chapter 1, Act 4, or at least, I don't know if it was that or maybe it was the prelude. Either way, it's all connected, right? I remember playing that, and at some point we were talking about the Ruin Guards and discussing their true purpose being field tillers and what they did for Khaenri'ah. I was wondering, like, why do the Abyss want them? Right? But I came to that conclusion through, I thought, you know, at the time, a wild theory that made very little sense, but kind of, was that the Khaenri'ahs became the Abyss creatures that we see. This turns out to be true, at least from what they've revealed in the story so far. And, you know, the Rune Guards could potentially be revived by them or work for them or be loyal to them or whatsoever. And because Lumine here is the Princess of the Abyss, she's got herself some field tiller servant action going on here. Really cool shot of just seeing how it's carrying her across Mondstadt. It's really cool to see her perspective and how she talks and reacts to certain things. And then thinking about the stuff that she said to us when we met her towards the end of Act 4. Okay.
Outlanders do not belong in this world.
Interesting. Okay. And another thing, just like a little, I just have to show a little appreciation for something here. Looking at them walking through, I'm looking at Lumine, like how her legs are just kind of dangling and moving and stuff. Like she's not just perfectly straight like a statue. There's some motion in there, so it's good animation. Anyway, sorry.
Outlanders do not belong in this world.
Referring to herself, or possibly even gods, potentially. If Khaenri'ah had existed way back, maybe even before gods intervened with things, they could be considered outlanders, right? Potentially, maybe not. Anyway, that's just an idea. This could simply mean that this world's not meant for everyone, especially those who are not from here and don't understand. Interesting. Okay, another thing. That shot was really interesting just now. That transition. Does it just normally... Hold on, I gotta do step by step with this. Oh, we're in it. Okay. This. Okay, so it's moving along. Okay, and you see it transform here. It fades. Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Because for a second there, it was like a trick on the eyes. It almost looked like we went into the path, like underground even. And I was going to be like, that's really weird. I mean, because when we get to this next part, that's right here. Everything's crumbling, falling apart. We see a crimson moon. A really big crimson moon. Which is wild. So I imagine they are above ground, or at least, but I mean, you know, magic and stuff and just whatever in general is wild. I'm gonna keep going. She's running through all this chaos right now, which is wild because there was that animation, which I keep referring to because I love it so much and it means a lot. Especially, I think it means a lot. The Road Not Taken, where there's that clip in the beginning of essentially this scene. Well, she's running at us, but it's like Khaenri'ah falling apart, right? With like the red moon in the background. Pretty wild. What was that blue thing? I have to see. What? Oh, okay. We just got some runes, some sigils here. Okay. Huh. But these things aren't everywhere. Could Khaenri'ah have had some kind of defenses, like some kind of barrier that once protected it, but of course couldn't stand up against the gods ultimately? Who knows? It's just interesting that we see some light here, but not in other places, really. So, just a very small detail, probably not even important, but it just gets me thinking. Okay.
One day, this journey will reach its end.
The Sea of Fire. Man, yeah, it's literally lava, the earth broken apart. Khaenri'ah now in ruins. You have this crazy magic stuff that is very much the same as what that unnamed god was using at the beginning of the game. Seeing Lumine drop to her knees with her like hand extended, devastated. It's wild. It's, oh Jesus. I have to. Yeah. Ooh, and the symbolism there. Dandelions, heavily associated with the wind. And you know what dandelions do? You blow them and their spores go everywhere. The seeds that lead into things of the future. Also, very heavily associated with Mondstadt, associated with Venti. This is Lumine stomping on this, saying, fuck the gods. Fuck your freedom that you gave us, because we never had it. Oh my goodness. Maybe it doesn't mean that, but that's what it means to me seeing that. That's woof. from what I understand with what Aether revealed and what he said while talking to Dane in Chapter 1, Act 4, is the timeline of events that took place. And I could still be wrong about this, but this is how I understood it, right? The siblings arrive to this world together, one before the other. The one in front, supposedly, Lumine. She lands first. She comes out of her meteorite first. For whatever reason, Aether does not. She comes out of her shooting star form, her meteor first, right? She awakens. And she spends who knows how much time on this world before Aether wakes up. Before she wakes Aether up. She walks around, she sees Khaenri'ah. She's exploring Khaenri'ah. Khaenri'ah is probably, I don't know. It's like at that point in time, it's her home. It's the people that she ran into first. It's who she talked to, the friends that she made, what she assumes just life to be on this world, and probably thoroughly enjoys it. She would have to have enjoyed her time on Khaenri'ah if she is this devastated by its destruction. And then shit starts going down. That's when she's like, oh my god, this is devastating, gotta get out of here. Goes to Aether, wakes him up, is like, we gotta leave. Aether sees the Sea of Fire, the land broken, the land on fire, Khaenri'ah now in ruins. She was running around witnessing the destruction. He is seeing, like, towards the aftermath, but the gods are still rampaging. They're still around. They're making sure Khaenri'ah is fucking dead. They try to piece it. They get headed off at the pass. And this unnamed god is just like, humans are unfit to be here. And just wrecks their day by separating them once again. Or at the very least, removing Aether from the equation at that moment. Aether's gone. Lumine's alone. And now she's wandering Teyvat, the world that the gods have claimed for themselves. Most likely on behalf of Celestia. Given orders. Before, there were a lot of gods and they'd, like, you know, fight each other and do their things, but they were usually more territorial with their own people and stuff like that. But now they had a purpose, with Celestia being like, Celestia's like, okay, we're gonna have Archons now, we're just gonna take this shit. Wrecked Khaenri'ah, all that stuff. Now the world is Teyvat as we know it, split into regions, split into these different nations where gods, specific gods, take control of each one. Lumine goes on her adventure, seeing what has the world come to, what has the world become after the fall of Khaenri'ah. Meets Dainsleif, they go on their journey, she sees everything, and afterwards she comes to the conclusion that this isn't cool. This is fake, these are lies, this is stupid, I saw what they did to Khaenri'ah, I see what, she learns the truth of what happened to the people of Khaenri'ah, that they are now monsters, and she sympathizes with them. Meanwhile, you have Dainsleif, he doesn't like extremes. Don't follow the gods, don't listen to the gods, be wary, don't do anything to disrupt them. We don't want to fuck with that, but that doesn't mean you have to listen to them. Be your own person. Abyss? No, we don't need revenge. We don't need to do that. That's an extreme. That's crazy. You're corrupted now. The gods, they fucked you up. You're out of your mind. You're actually insane. But Lumine, who has this bleeding heart, who got to know these people on a personal level, and maybe doesn't have as rational thought, or not the same, you know, mentality as Dainsleif in general, she's just like, no. We need to make this right. The gods have to die. So she's hell-bent on this mission, and she believes this is her destiny. This is what needs to happen. It gives me chills. And then, you know, then we wake up 500 years later and now we're following her footsteps, learning what the world's all about and its secrets, and also learning that the gods aren't who they seem to be, potentially. That there's more to it, and they're not telling us the full picture. It's a lot to think about. To me, is my sibling the bad guy? I don't think the Abyss are good. But if what I say is correct, I understand where she's coming from. And it really depends on what we find out in the future. The things that the gods are hiding from us. Like Zhongli, what's the other part of the contract? Venti, what the fuck do you know? Everyone else who I'm gonna run into. Gotta be something. Anyway, sorry, let's continue.
But until the Abyss has engulfed the thrones, my war with destiny will see no end.
Yep, revenge.
Your Highness, our plan to weaponize the dragon has been impeded.
By the Animo Archon, he rises again for the dragon's sake.
No, not the Archon. We were well prepared for his interference. Regrettably, Your Highness, the issue is your brother.
Outlanders, your journey ends here. Lumine!
What I do like here is this little sense of urgency. Yeah. How she is actually running to the cliff's edge. That she's not... When we saw her, she was very stoic. She's been stoic, right? Whenever we've seen her on screen. This is one of the first times, other than that animated short that I keep talking about, where she is showing an emotion. Oh shit, there's my brother. First time seeing him in 500 years at least. But still keeps her cool and is like, nope, I have a mission. I've got a mission to accomplish.
We will be reunited, dear brother. But not here. Not now.
Yep.
We
But yeah.
will meet at this journey's end. Once the dust has settled.
Freaking Paimon took us in the other direction. What are you up to, Paimon? Well, you gotta be like that. That's the spot where she was standing, where we saw the footprints. There's that imprinted like message on the flowers. Memories of Khaenri'ah. We saw a glimpse in that flashback during the quest of the Sea of Fire. This is something. I love this, guys. I love this. It's so cool getting to see the other side. It is so fascinating to me. Dainsleif. She adventured with Dainsleif. And that happened after the fall of Khaenri'ah. So, here's the thing. We don't know, or at least I don't know, what set her off on Dainsleif. He kept his whole story a secret. She didn't know he was from Khaenri'ah. But maybe she did. But maybe she found out later on that he was supposed to protect it. And he didn't. Or couldn't. Either way, she blames him for a lot of things. And I think part of it was hiding the truth from her for so long. And then she sees the evils within the gods, the archons. And is just like, we gotta stop them. And then he's like, no, we don't want to get involved with that. And then finds out that he's from Khaenri'ah. You're not only a royal guard, but you kept your form, and you still don't want to avenge your people, and instead have been making me slaughter them. Potentially, maybe she didn't know they were immediately turned into abyss beings. Maybe she did, but if she didn't know, imagine she goes on this journey fighting through the monsters and all sorts of corruption that's in the world now, not fully understanding what had happened, other than that the gods fucked shit up. And she's been maybe going up against abyss enemies and killing them. And then learning later, because of Dainsleif, that oh my god, these were potentially people I knew and my friends, and people that respected me. It's rough, man. This could go in a bunch of ways. It might not even be that. It could be something simpler. It could be something more complex. I'm really curious to finding out more about the relationship between Dainsleif and Lumine. I'm sure there's more to it, and I'm sure it's way more complicated. So I look forward to finding that out. And also, I think back to the animated short, The Road Not Taken. Obviously, it's about the siblings having their parallel adventure, going throughout the world and stuff, looking for each other, right? But on Lumine's side, there's more to it. Because she's traveling the world with Dainsleif, and not only does she not know where her brother is, but she's also experiencing this world anew and how everything is different. And although it might not look that bad to us because we don't know much, but to her, she is seeing things different. Maybe she's seeing this invisible restraint on everything, how there's this order, how humanity isn't actually free. Things that Dainsleif alluded to during his mission that you have with him. This goes deep. It also makes me think of, how big was Khaenri'ah? How big was Khaenri'ah? How far do these ruins stretch across Teyvat? There's all sorts of references to ancient technology. Is all of that ancient technology related to Khaenri'ah? In Sumeru? In Natlan? Was the world itself Khaenri'ah, then turned into Teyvat after the gods assumed control? I'm just saying, man. This is wild. I think that's where I have to call it for now. This was great. I'm so happy I watched it after I played the Chapter 1 Act 4 quest. I got nothing. Or rather, that is all I have at the moment. I look forward to playing more of this game, finding out more of its secrets. I know the Dainsleif missions are not very often, like once a year, so I only have a couple left and I have some time to go in between, and I'm going to do my best to, enjoy the other elements of the story, finding out the other lore, trying to find out more about these Archons in general. But man, my perspective, which this game is all about, it's all about perspective, has definitely been flipped on its head. And I'm definitely going to be going forward looking at this, essentially almost analyzing every single word that comes out of an Archon's mouth, and also the stories written about them, and so on and so forth. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed my talk, my analysis, my thoughts, and that's it. So until next time, shine on, you crazy diamonds. Later.